The sky burned orange and black. Smoke rose from the broken buildings of the Valorian capital city. Sergeant Taiho Park moved slowly through the ruins with his small squad. They had been lost for 3 days now, cut off from the main army. Food was low. Water was lower. Hope was almost gone. Taiho was a combat medic. He had joined the United Earth Forces 5 years ago, after his younger sister died from sickness. His family was poor. They could not pay for her medicine. She was only 12 years old. After that day, Taiho promised himself he would save every life he could. He would never let another person die if he could stop it. The war between humans and Valorians had lasted 2 years. Nobody remembered why it started anymore. Both sides just wanted to kill each other. Taiho had seen too much death. He was tired of it all. "Sergeant, there's something ahead," whispered Corporal Myre Kang. She was the squad sniper. Her eyes were sharp like a hawk. She never missed a shot, and she never smiled. Private Jisoo Han, the youngest member of the squad, raised his communication device. "I'm picking up a weak signal." Some kind of distress beacon. Taiho raised his hand, telling them to stop. He looked through the smoke and saw something strange. A crashed ship. It was not a military ship. It was too fancy, too beautiful. Gold and silver metal twisted together like art. This was a royal transport. "Could be a trap," Myre said. Her finger rested on her rifle trigger. "Could be survivors," Taiho replied. "Valorian survivors. The enemy." Taiho did not answer. He moved forward anyway. His squad followed, because that is what soldiers do. They followed their leader, even into danger. The transport was badly damaged. One side was completely crushed. Fire had burned most of the inside. Bodies of Valorian guards lay scattered around, all dead. Their silver-blue skin had turned gray in death. Their violet eyes stared at nothing. Then Taiho heard it. A weak sound. A breath. Someone was alive. He climbed into the wreckage, pushing aside broken metal and burned cloth. In the back of the transport, hidden behind a fallen wall panel, he found her. She was young, maybe the same age as Taiho. Her silver-blue skin glowed faintly, even now. Her long white hair spread around her like a fan. She wore clothes made of silk and jewels. A princess. No, not just any princess. Taiho recognized the royal symbol on her chest. This was Princess Yuna, the eldest daughter of the Valorian Emperor himself, and she was dying. Golden blood pooled beneath her body. Valorians did not bleed red like humans. Their blood was the color of sunshine. But there was too much of it outside her body now. A large piece of metal had cut deep into her stomach. "Sergeant," Myre called from outside. "What did you find?" "A survivor," Taiho said. His voice was calm, but his heart beat fast. Myre climbed in and looked. Her face went hard when she saw the princess. "Leave her." "What?" "She's the Emperor's daughter, Taiho. The same Emperor who ordered the burning of New Seoul. The same Emperor who killed 50,000 humans in one day." Myre's voice was cold as ice. "Let her die. She deserves it." Jisoo appeared behind Myre. His young face went pale when he saw all the golden blood. "Maybe Myre is right, Sergeant. If she dies, maybe the war ends faster." Taiho looked at the princess. Her violet eyes were half open. She was looking at him. She could hear everything they said. She knew they were deciding if she would live or die. She did not beg. She did not cry. She just watched him with those strange purple eyes. Taiho thought of his sister. He thought of the promise he made at her grave. He thought of all the lives he had saved in this war, human and Valorian alike. "I'm a medic," he said quietly. "I save lives. That's what I do." He knelt beside the princess and opened his medical kit. Myre cursed and walked away, but she did not try to stop him. She knew Taiho too well. Once he decided something, nothing could change his mind. Taiho worked fast. He stopped the bleeding. He cleaned the wound. He used all his best medicine, but nothing worked the way it should. Valorian bodies were different from human bodies. Their organs were in different places. Their blood carried different chemicals. Everything Taiho knew about medicine was useless here. The princess was still dying. In desperation, Taiho searched the wreckage and found a damaged datapad. The princess's medical records. He read quickly, looking for anything that could help. And then he found something strange. VELORIANS could accept blood transfusions from compatible donors. Their bodies could adapt to foreign blood in emergencies. It had never been tested with human blood, but the science said it might be possible. Taiho looked at his own arm. Red blood flowed in his veins. Human blood. Strong blood. This is crazy, he whispered to himself, but he had no other choice. He took his knife and cut his own arm. Red blood flowed out, bright against his brown skin. He found a tube in his medical kit and connected his arm to the princess's arm. His blood flowed into her body. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the princess screamed. Her body shook violently. Light exploded from her wounds, so bright that Taiho had to close his eyes. A force like a giant hand pushed him backward, throwing him against the wall. When the light faded, Taiho opened his eyes. The princess was sitting up. Her wounds were closed. Her skin glowed brighter than before. And her eyes, those violet eyes, had changed. Small spots of brown now floated in the purple, like islands in a strange sea. Human brown. The color of Taiho's eyes. She looked at him. She looked at the tube connecting their arms. She looked at the red blood mixing with her gold. Why? She whispered in broken galactic common. Why save enemy? Taiho pulled the tube from his arm and pressed cloth against his wound. He was dizzy from blood loss. His vision was blurry, but he smiled anyway. Because, he said, that's what humans do. Then everything went black, and Taiho fell unconscious on the floor of the ruined transport. His red blood still dripping onto the Valorian princess's golden silk dress. Taiho woke up in darkness. His head hurt badly. His arm burned where he had cut it. But he was alive. He blinked and looked around. He was in a cave. Water dripped somewhere in the darkness. A small fire burned nearby, giving weak orange light. Myray sat against the wall, her rifle across her lap, watching him with tired eyes. You slept for 2 days, she said. I thought you were dead. The princess? Taiho asked. His voice was rough and dry. Myray pointed with her chin. Taiho turned his head and saw Princess Yuna sitting on the other side of the fire. She was watching him too. Her violet eyes with their new brown spots never moved from his face. She carried you here, Myray said. There was something strange in her voice. Surprise, maybe. Carried you for 6 hours through enemy territory. Would not let anyone else touch you. Would not leave you behind. Taiho did not understand. Why would a Valorian princess carry a human soldier? Why would she risk her life for an enemy? Yuna stood up slowly and walked toward him. She moved differently now. Before, in the crashed transport, she had been weak and dying. Now she moved like water, smooth and strong. Something had changed inside her. She knelt beside Taiho and placed her hand on his chest. Her skin was cool, like touching metal. I feel you, she said in her broken common. Inside, here, she touched her own heart. Your pain, your thoughts, everything. What are you talking about? Taiho asked. Yuna closed her eyes. When you sleep, I see your dreams. I see small village near ocean. I see little girl with same eyes as you. I see her die. I feel your sadness. A golden tear rolled down her silver-blue cheek. So much sadness. Taiho's blood went cold. She was talking about his sister. She was talking about memories he had never shared with anyone. How do you know that? He demanded. The blood, Yuna said. Your blood inside me. It made connection. My people call it soul bond. Very rare. Very sacred. Only happens between two souls that are meant to be together. She opened her eyes and looked directly into his. It was never supposed to happen with human. But it happened with you. Myray made a disgusted sound. Soul bond? Sounds like Valorian nonsense. But Jisu, who had been quietly listening, spoke up. Actually, I read about this in the intelligence reports. Valorian soul bonds are real. There's some kind of biological connection that links two people's nervous systems. It's supposed to be very rare and very permanent. Permanent. The word hit Taiho like a bullet. Over the next 3 days, Taiho learned what the soul bond meant. He could feel Yuna's emotions, just like she could feel his. When she was scared, his heart beat faster. When he was angry, her hands would shake. They could not be separated by more than a short distance without both of them feeling terrible. Pain in their chest. It was strange. It was uncomfortable. It was also completely impossible to ignore. Taiho tried to stay away from the princess. She was still the enemy. Her father had ordered the deaths of thousands of humans. Her people had destroyed human colonies and killed human children. He should hate her, but through the bond, he felt her true self. Her loneliness, her fear, a confusion about everything she had been taught. And at night, when they both slept, she came to him in his dreams. I was taught humans are animals, Yuna said one night. They were sitting by the fire while Myray and Jisu slept. My teacher said you have no culture, no art, no love. They said you only know how to destroy. And what do you think now? Taiho asked. Yuna was quiet for a long moment. I think my teachers were liars. She looked at her hands. Through bond, I feel your memories. I see human music, human paintings, human families loving each other. I see your mother crying when your sister died. I feel how much it hurt you. She looked up at him. Animals do not feel such things. Only people do. Something twisted in Taiho's chest. Not pain. Something else. Something warm. Why did you carry me? He asked, when I passed out. Why didn't you just leave? Yuna tilted her head, like she did not understand the question. You gave me your blood. You saved my life when everyone told you to let me die. How could I leave you? I'm your enemy. No, Yuna said softly. You are my bond partner. You are part of me now. When you hurt, I hurt. When you die, part of me dies too. She reached out and touched his hand. Her cool fingers wrapped around his warm ones. I do not want you to die, Taiho Park. I want you to live. The moment was broken by a sound in the distance. Ship engines. Getting closer, Myray woke up instantly, grabbing her rifle. Valorian patrol. They're searching for someone. Me, Yuna said. Her face went pale. They are searching for me. The squad moved deeper into the caves, but it was no use. The Valorian hunters had technology that could scan through rock. Within an hour, 5 Valorian soldiers stood at the cave entrance, their weapons pointed at the humans. Princess Yuna, the lead hunter said, your father has been worried. Come with us. Yuna stepped forward. Taiho grabbed her arm to stop her, but she shook her head. I am Princess Yuna of the royal house, she announced. Her voice was different now, stronger, the voice of royalty. These humans are my personal guards. They saved my life. Under the ancient law of royal protection, they are under my shield. You will not harm them. The lead hunter's face twisted with confusion and disgust. Personal guards? Humans? Princess, you cannot be serious. Do you question me? Yuna's eyes flashed with power. Do you question the ancient law? The hunter hesitated. The ancient law was absolute. Even the emperor could not break it. Your father will hear of this, the hunter finally said. Good, Yuna replied. Now leave? The hunters left. But their last words hung in the air like poison. 1 week later, the message came through Jisu's intercepted communications. The emperor had declared Princess Yuna corrupted by human blood. She was no longer his daughter. She was no longer Valorian. She was sentenced to death. Yuna read the message with no emotion on her face. But through the bond, Taiho felt her heart breaking into 1,000 pieces. Her own father wanted her dead. Because of him. Because of his blood, Taiho reached out and took her hand. He said nothing. There were no words for this moment. But through the bond, Yuna felt his promise. He would protect her. No matter what. No matter who came for her. He would not let her die. And somewhere deep inside her broken heart, a small flower of hope began to grow. The stolen shuttle was old and broken. Its engines made terrible sounds. Its shields barely worked. But it flew, and that was all that mattered. Taiho sat in the pilot's seat, guiding the small ship through an asteroid field. Behind him, Myra had checked her weapons for the 100th time. Jizu worked on the communication systems, trying to stay hidden from the many ships hunting them, and Yuna sat alone in the corner, looking out the window at the stars. 2 Valorian warships behind us, Jisu reported. And I'm picking up 3 Earth Force destroyers ahead. We're surrounded. Can we go around? Taiho asked. Not enough fuel. Myra laughed bitterly. So this is how we die. Running away with an alien princess while both sides try to kill us. My mother would be so proud. Nobody is dying today, Taiho said firmly. He turned the shuttle toward a nearby moon covered in gray dust. There, an old mining station. We can hide and refuel. They landed on the dark side of the moon, where no sensors could find them. The mining station was abandoned and falling apart, but it had fuel cells they could take and food that was still good enough to eat. For 3 days, they hid in the darkness. Taiho used this time to learn more about Yuna and her people. The bond between them had grown stronger. He could now hear whispers of her thoughts if he concentrated hard enough. One night, while the others slept, Yuna told him the truth about Valorians. My people are dying, she said quietly. Not from war. From ourselves. Taiho frowned. What do you mean? Yuna pulled back her sleeve and showed him her arm. Under her silver blue skin, dark purple veins spread like cracks in glass. This is fading sickness. All royal blood carries it. It kills us slowly from inside. I was supposed to die before my 30th birthday. She touched the purple lines with sad eyes. Every generation more Valorians are born with it. Our scientists say that in 500 years, we will be extinct. That's why you fight the war, Taiho realized. You want our planets, our resources. We want your genetics, Yuna corrected. Human DNA is very strong, very adaptable. Our scientists believed that if we conquered humanity, we could use your genes to cure the fading sickness. Taiho felt sick to his stomach. You were going to farm us? Like animals? Yuna lowered her head in shame. Yes, that was the plan. That is why my father calls humans livestock instead of people. It makes it easier to do terrible things when you do not see others as equals. But you don't believe that anymore. Yuna looked up at him. Her violet brown eyes were filled with tears. Through the bond, I felt your sister's death. I felt a human child's lost breath. I felt a human mother's grief. She shook her head. Livestock do not grieve. Only people do. Something else occurred to Taiho. Your sickness. The fading. Is it still killing you? Yuna's lips curved into a small smile. No, your blood is fighting it. Your human antibodies are attacking the sickness and winning. For the first time in my life, the dark veins are getting smaller instead of bigger. She placed her hand over her heart. You are not just my bond partner. Taiho, you are my cure. Before Taiho could respond, Jisoo burst into the room. His face white with fear. You need to see this. Now. They gathered around the communication screen. Jisoo had hacked into a Valorian military channel. The image showed Emperor Hyungsik standing before his war council. The humans have proven more difficult than expected, the Emperor was saying. Their fleets protect their homeworld too well. We cannot break through with conventional weapons. Then, what do you suggest, my Emperor? A general asked. Emperor Hyungsik smiled. It was the smile of a monster. Activate the silence array. Gasps filled the war council chamber. Even the generals looked afraid. The silence array has never been tested, one admiral protested. We do not know what it will do. I know exactly what it will do, the Emperor replied. It will make the human sun unstable. Within 1 year, their star will explode. Their homeworld will be destroyed. 10 billion humans will die in an instant. And our fading sickness will no longer matter, because we will take all their other colonies and farms for ourselves. Taiho could not breathe. 10 billion people. His mother was on Earth, his aunts and uncles, his childhood friends, everyone he had ever known. The Emperor continued. The array will be activated in 30 days. This war is already over. The humans just do not know it yet. The transmission ended. Silence filled the small room. We have to warn someone, Jisoo whispered. Earth Command. The human fleets. Anyone. They won't believe us, Myri said grimly. A stolen Valorian transmission? They'll think it's a trap. Then what do we do? Jisoo asked desperately. Yuna stood up straight. Her face was pale but determined. Through the bond, Taiho felt something new in her heart. Not fear, not sadness, resolve. There's only one way to stop my father, she said. The right of succession challenge. Myri looked confused. The what? An ancient law, older than the empire itself. Any royal heir can challenge the emperor's decisions through trial by combat. If the challenger wins, the emperor must step down and cancel all his orders. And if the challenger loses? Taiho asked, already knowing the answer. Death, Yuna said simply. But it does not matter. If we do nothing, 10 billion humans die. I cannot let that happen. She looked at Taiho with those strange violet-brown eyes. Your people saved me. Now I must try to save them. Taiho felt her fear through the bond. She was terrified. But under the fear was something stronger. Courage. The kind of courage that makes ordinary people do extraordinary things. He had never felt anything so beautiful. You're not going alone, he said. The bond would not allow it anyway. Yuna replied with a sad smile. Where I go, you must follow. We are connected now, forever. Taiho took her hand. Then let's go save 2 species. Myri groaned and checked her rifle again. I can't believe I'm doing this. Helping an alien princess fight her own father to save humanity. She looked at Jisoo. Are we really doing this? Jisoo smiled for the first time in weeks. Sounds like the kind of story people tell for 1,000 years. Or the kind of story where everyone dies horribly. Same thing. Really, they powered up the shuttle and flew toward the heart of the Valorian Empire. Toward the Emperor. Toward destiny. The Valorian throne world was the most beautiful planet Taiho had ever seen. Crystal towers rose in the purple skies. Rivers of liquid silver flowed through gardens of glowing flowers. Everything was perfect. Everything was clean. Everything was cold. They had arrived using smuggler routes that Mireille knew from her past life before the military. She never talked about those years, and nobody asked. Some secrets were better left buried. Jisoo had worked for days to hack into the Imperial communication network. Now, as they landed in a hidden location outside the capital city, he was ready. "I can broadcast to every screen in the Empire," he said. "Whatever happens in the throne room, everyone will see it." "Good," Yuna said. "My father has hidden the truth for too long. It is time the Valorian people see what kind of monster rules them." They moved through the city at night, wearing stolen cloaks to hide their faces. Taiho was amazed by what he saw. The Valorian civilians did not look like warriors. They looked tired, thin. Many of them had the same dark purple veins he had seen on Yuna's arm. The fading sickness was everywhere. "They're dying," Taiho whispered. "All of them?" "Yes," Yuna replied. "And my father tells them the only cure is human blood. He tells them we must conquer your people to survive. He uses their fear to make them support the war. But it's not true. Your scientists could have asked for help. We could have shared blood willingly. I know that now. But my father does not want peace. He wants power. A cure that requires cooperation would make him weak. A cure that requires conquest makes him strong." They reached the Imperial Palace as the sun rose. The building was enormous, made of white stone and golden metal. Guards stood at every door, their weapons ready. Yuna walked straight toward the main entrance. "Princess," a guard shouted, "you are sentenced to death. Stop or we will fire." Yuna did not stop. She pulled off her hood and stood tall in the morning light. "I am Princess Yuna of the royal house. I invoke the right of succession challenge. Take me to my father." The guards hesitated. The ancient law was clear. A challenger could not be killed before facing the emperor. To do so would bring shame on the entire military. Slowly, they lowered their weapons and opened the doors. The throne room was filled with nobles and generals. They all turned to stare as Yuna walked in with 3 humans behind her. Gasps and whispers filled the air. This was impossible. A dead princess returned with human companions? Emperor Youngsik sat on his throne of crystal and gold. He was old but still powerful. His violet eyes were cold as ice. His silver blue skin showed no emotion as he watched his daughter approach. "So," he said, "the failed experiment returns." Yuna bowed her head slightly. "Not in respect. In ritual, father. I challenge your decision to activate the silence array. I invoke the right of succession challenge." More gasps. The nobles looked at each other in shock. "The silence array? What silence array?" Emperor Youngsik's eye twitched. That was the only sign of his anger. "You dare challenge me? You, who have polluted your royal blood with human filth. The ancient law does not care about blood purity. It only cares about right and wrong. You plan to kill 10 billion innocent people. That is wrong. They are not people. They are livestock. They are people." Yuna's voice rang through the throne room. "I have felt their hearts through the soul bond. I have seen their dreams and memories. They love. They grieve. They hope. They are exactly like us." She pointed at her father. "You are the one who is not like us. You are the monster. You are the disease that kills our empire from inside." The throne room went silent. No one had ever spoken to the emperor this way. No one had ever dared. Emperor Youngsik stood slowly. His face was a mask of cold fury. "Very well. You want a challenge? You shall have one." He turned to his generals. "Bring forward my champion." A door opened at the side of the throne room. A giant Valorian male walked in. He was taller than any Valorian Taiho had ever seen, with muscles like steel cables under his silver blue skin. His face was covered in battle scars. His eyes were empty of everything except the desire to kill. General Sangho, Emperor Hyungsik announced. The Butcher of New Seoul, the man who killed 50,000 humans in a single night. He will be my champion. Taiho felt his blood turn to ice. He had heard stories of General Sangho. Every human soldier had. He was a legend of horror, a nightmare in flesh. The challenge is accepted, the Emperor continued. Select your champion, daughter. The fight will be blade against blade. No technology, no tricks, only strength and skill. Yuna opened her mouth to speak, but before she could say anything, Taiho stepped forward. I will be her champion. The throne room exploded with noise. Laughter from some, shock from others. The nobles pointed at the human and mocked him. A small human against General Sangho? It was a joke. It was suicide. Emperor Hyungsik smiled for the first time. A cruel, hungry smile. You? A human? You want to fight my greatest warrior? Yes, you will die. Maybe. Taiho looked at Yuna. Through the bond, he felt her terror, her desperate love, her need to protect him. But I'm not afraid of dying. I'm afraid of living in a universe where 10 billion innocent people were murdered, and I did nothing to stop it. The Emperor's smile faded slightly. Something flickered in his cold eyes. Doubt? Fear? It was gone too quickly to tell. Very well. The challenge will take place at dawn tomorrow. Prepare yourself, human. You have 1 night left to live. Guards led them to a small chamber where they would wait until morning. Yuna grabbed Taiho's hands as soon as they were alone. You cannot do this, she said. Her voice shook. Sangho is the greatest fighter in the Empire. He has killed thousands. He has never lost. Then I'll be his first loss. This is not a joke. You will die. Taiho touched her face gently. Her skin was cool under his fingers. Maybe, but if I don't fight, everyone dies anyway. My mother, Jisu's family, every child on Earth. He smiled sadly. At least this way, there's a chance. Yuna pressed her forehead against his. It was a Valorian gesture of deepest love. Through the bond, Taiho felt everything she could not say in words. Her gratitude, her fear, her love. Yes, love. Somewhere in the chaos of war and death and running, she had fallen in love with the human who gave his blood to save her, and he had fallen in love with her too. Come back to me, she whispered. Promise me. I promise to try. They held each other through the long night. Neither one sleeping, both knowing that dawn might bring the end of everything. Outside the window, the stars watched silently, waiting to see what one small human would do against the greatest warrior of an empire. The Imperial Arena was ancient. Its white stone walls had seen 1,000 duels over 10,000 years. Today, every seat was filled. Nobles sat in the high sections, their silk clothes glowing in the morning light. Common Valorians packed the lower sections, curious to see the impossible. A human fighting for a Valorian princess. Jisu had done his job well. Every screen in the Empire showed the arena. Billions of Valorians watched from their homes, their ships, their workplaces. And thanks to a secret channel Jisu had opened, human fleets watched too. 2 species held their breath together. Taeho walked into the arena wearing simple clothes. He carried a single blade, given to him by the arena masters. It felt light in his hand. Too light. A weapon for faster hands than his. On the other side of the arena, General Sangho waited. His blade was longer, heavier, built for his enormous body. His scarred face showed nothing. His empty eyes watched Taiho like a snake watching a mouse. Emperor Hyungsik stood in the royal box, looking down at the arena with cold satisfaction. Beside him, held by guards, stood Yuna. Her violet-brown eyes were fixed on Taiho. Through the bond, he felt her heart beating as fast as his own. "The rules are simple," a voice announced over the arena speakers. "Fight until one cannot continue. No mercy, no surrender. Begin." Sangho moved first. He was fast. Faster than anything that big should be. His blade cut through the air like lightning, aimed at Taiho's neck. Taiho barely dodged. The blade passed so close, it cut some of his hair. Before he could recover, Sangho struck again. And again. And again. Within seconds, Taiho was bleeding. A cut on his arm. A slash across his chest. A nick on his cheek. Sangho was playing with him, taking small pieces, enjoying the kill. The Valorian crowd cheered. This was what they expected. A human could never defeat a Valorian warrior. It was impossible. Sangho's blade found Taiho's shoulder, cutting deep. Taiho fell to one knee, his blood turning the white sand red. "Stay down, human," Sangho said. His voice was like grinding stones. "Die with some dignity." Taiho looked up at the general. His vision was blurry from pain. His body screamed at him to stop, to give up, to accept defeat. But in his mind, he saw his mother's face. He saw Jisu's young smile. He saw billions of human children playing in the sunlight of Earth. He saw Yuna's eyes, filled with love and hope. Taiho stood up. Sangho's eyes widened slightly, a crack in his empty expression. He struck again, a blow that should have ended everything. Taiho blocked it. His arm shook with the effort, but he blocked it, and then he struck back. His blade was smaller, lighter, faster. It slipped past Sangho's guard and cut the general's arm. Golden blood flowed. The crowd went silent. First blood from a human. Impossible. Sangho attacked with new fury. His blade became a storm of death, striking from every direction. Taiho could not block them all. New wounds opened on his body. His blood painted the sand red in wider and wider pools, but he did not fall. Every time Sangho knocked him down, he got up. Every time the general cut him, he cut back. It was not elegant fighting. It was not beautiful. It was brutal, ugly, desperate survival. And slowly, terribly slowly, something began to change. Sangho was getting tired. VELORIANs were built for quick fights. Short bursts of incredible speed and power. They were not built for long battles. Their bodies burned energy too fast. Humans were different. Humans had evolved on a harsh world, chasing prey for hours across endless plains. Humans were built to endure, to outlast, to never, ever give up. The fight continued. 1 hour, 2 hours, an unheard of length for a duel. Sangho's movements became slower. His breathing became heavy. His golden blood now covered as much sand as Taiho's red blood. The greatest warrior of the Valorian Empire was losing, and the crowd knew it. The cheering had stopped long ago. Now there was only silence. Millions of Valorians watching a single human refuse to die, watching their legend of invincibility crumble before their eyes. Sangho made one last desperate attack. He threw everything he had into a final killing strike. Taiho sidestepped. His broken body screamed in protest, but he moved anyway. Sangho's blade missed by a finger's width, and Taiho's blade found the general's heart. Sangho looked down at the sword in his chest. He looked up at the human who had put it there. His empty eyes showed something for the first time in years. Respect. Double quotes. How? He whispered. Taiho was barely standing. His vision was going dark. He had lost so much blood. Because, he said, humans don't give up, ever. Sangho fell. The greatest warrior of the Valorian Empire, died on white sand stained with red and gold. Blood. The arena was completely silent. Then, from the lowest seats where common Valorians sat, someone began to clap. One person, then another, then 100, then 1,000. The sound grew like a wave, crashing over the noble sections, filling the entire arena with thunder. They were cheering. For a human. For the impossible victory. Emperor Hyungsik stood in his royal box, his face twisted with rage. This was not supposed to happen. This was impossible. Guards. He screamed. Kill them both. Kill them now. But the guards did not move. The broadcast had shown everything. The truth about the silence array. The plan to murder 10 billion humans. The reality that the emperor cared nothing for his people, only for power. We do not follow tyrants, the guard captain said quietly. He turned his back on the emperor. Other guards did the same. Then nobles. Then generals. One by one, the leaders of the Valorian Empire abandoned their emperor. Emperor Hyungsik was arrested by his own council before the sun set. The silence array was destroyed. The war ended within months as the new Valorian government, with Yuna as its primary voice, chose peace instead of genocide. 1 year later, on a small fishing village on Earth, a ceremony took place. The village was where Taiho had grown up, where his sister had played in the waves, where his mother still lived in a small house by the sea. Today, that house was decorated with flowers from 2 worlds. Human roses and Valorian crystal lily grew together in the garden. Human and Valorian guests sat together on simple wooden chairs, watching the beach. Taiho stood at the altar, wearing the formal clothes of an Earth Forces hero. His body still carried scars from the duel. He would carry them forever, but he wore them proudly now. The music began. Everyone turned to look. Yuna walked down the sandy path toward him. Her silver-blue skin glowed in the sunlight. Her white hair was decorated with both human and Valorian flowers. Her violet-brown eyes, those beautiful mixed eyes, never left Taiho's face. She was wearing white, the human tradition for brides. Through the bond, Taiho felt her joy, her peace, her love. After everything they had suffered, after all the blood and pain and loss, they had found something worth living for. Each other. In the crowd, Myre wiped away tears she would deny later. Jizu cheered so loud that birds flew away from nearby trees. Taiho's mother held hands with a Valorian noble who had once been her enemy and was now her friend. Across the galaxy, humans and Valorians watched the broadcast together. For many, it was the first time they had seen the other species as anything but monsters. It would take generations to heal all the wounds of war. There would be problems, conflicts, those who could not accept change. The road ahead was long and difficult, but it had started, with a medic who could not leave a dying enemy behind, with a princess who learned that strength comes in many forms, with blood freely given, and a bond that changed everything. The wedding ended as the sun set over the ocean. Taiho and Yuna stood together on the beach, watching the orange and purple sky reflect on the water. Thank you, Yuna whispered. For what? For seeing me. When everyone else saw an enemy, you saw a person worth saving. Taiho took her hand. Cool skin against warm. Silver blue against brown. 2 worlds joined together. That's what humans do, he said, smiling. We save people, even when it seems impossible. Yuna leaned her head against his shoulder. Through the bond, their hearts beat together as one. Yes, she agreed. That is what makes you terrifying. That is what makes you wonderful. That is what makes you human. Above them, stars appeared one by one in the darkening sky. The same stars that had watched over battlefields and funeral pyres. The same stars that would now watch over a new era of peace. And somewhere out there, Among those countless points of light, countless beings looked toward Earth. With new understanding, humanity was not to be feared for their weapons or their technology. They were to be feared for something far more powerful: their stubborn, unbreakable, infinite capacity to love. Even their enemies, especially their enemies. That was the lesson the galaxy learned that day, and they would never forget it.